First of all, I have been a lifelong fan of him since I played Twisted Metal 3 back in 1999, and I heard his deep cut gem, Meet the Creeper. How can I not be? I love horror and I love metal, and he brilliantly combined both. To me, he has inherited the shock rock king mantle from his idol, Alice Cooper. He avoided the tacky shock for shock's sake antics of Marilyn Manson, and in my opinion, he has done something no other artist has ever done before or since. He was a musical titan who also made movies on a consistent basis and was at least partially successful at it. He deserves a lot of credit for this alone. In the early days, he was in a band called White Zombie that was named after the first zombie movie, White Zombie. The early stuff was in the noise rock style, which is exactly what the title says, melodyless noise, and frankly, it's not any good. But he hit his stride towards the end, when the band switched to industrial metal, combining horror lyrics with Pantera grooves. The last two White Zombie albums were really good, but then he went solo and really took off. Hellbilly Deluxe was his debut smash. It featured one hit after another. Super Beast, Dragula, Demonoid Phenomenon, Spook Show Baby, and of course the gateway song, Meet the Creeper, are all on this record. His next album, The Sinister Urge, was every bit as good. My favorite song from that one is Never Gonna Stop. But you also get Feel So Numb, Demon Speeding, and of course, House of a Thousand Corpses. He also fell for one of the hot models in his music videos, Sherry Moon, who he married and she became his muse and frequent collaborator. In his music, he was on top of the metal world, but his childhood dream was to make horror movies, and he took a hiatus from music to achieve that dream. Here's where things get tricky. At first, I was excited when he started making movies. After all, his music videos were terrific and well filmed, but that didn't translate to his movies. His first movie, House of a Thousand Corpses, based on the classic song from Sinister Urge, was essentially just an especially gritty Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff. Then he made The Devil's Rejects. I was disappointed with the first film, but The Devil's Rejects was actually pretty good. Even Ebert liked it. It was like a horror western, a mixture of Rio Bravo and Last House on the Left. After this film, I figured that House was just a young artist who hadn't found his voice yet. It's rare to crank out great stuff from the very beginning. Just look at my first video, the Nosferatu review. Man, it sucked. Mostly because I didn't know what I was doing. I figured he had found his voice, but sadly it turned out to be a fluke. He then made a dumb decision to make a remake of the greatest horror film ever made, Halloween. I can't think of anyone more ill-suited to direct a remake of Halloween than Rob. The original was a subtle, suspenseful smash. Zombie doesn't do subtle. The remake was widely panned and hated. In all honesty, I don't hate this movie like everyone else does, but I agree it wasn't a good film. The sequel to the film, however, now that sucked. Though it has its defenders, I agree with the consensus that this is one of the worst films in that franchise. Sadly, that film was such a disaster that he was never taken seriously as a filmmaker again. I was interested in his adaptation of the classic series The Munsters, which I grew up watching, because I wondered how he would manage a film that was family-friendly and didn't feature the F word every 5 seconds. As it turned out, he did manage to stay clean. Sterile is more like it, because that movie sucked like all the rest. None of the other stuff is notable. My problems with his filmmaking? Well, he's actually good in some areas. In fact, his films all look good. He can make a horror set piece great, but he can't write a script to save his soul. The things I praise him for as a musician, avoiding cheap, gimmicky shock factor, is the same stuff he pours on in his films. I don't care about cursing, but every other word is a bit much. The best example of his tendencies is a scene in the Halloween remake when a perverted asylum guard randomly rapes one of the girls in the institution. I'm not a prude, but this scene didn't add anything to the plot and wasn't at all necessary. It was just a cheap attempt at shock factor. It's a shame I have to criticize Rob as a movie maker. There are so many horror directors who obviously don't even love the genre they work in. They just work in it because it's popular and an easy moneymaker. But I have no doubt Rob loves the horror genre with all his heart. He just isn't good at it. An honest reviewer is a lot like an umpire. I can't call a guy safe at home when he gets thrown out by 10 feet just because I like the runner. So my verdict, Rob Zombie is both an icon and a hack. An icon as a musician and a hack as a filmmaker. That said, you should definitely seek both out. Even if Rob only had one good film, the rest of his films are all at least interesting failures. Oh, one last thing. His little brother has a band too, called Powerman 5000. It's obscure now, but back when I was a kid, it was every bit as popular as Big Brother's band. You should check it out if you like metal.